Good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is Point of View with Miss Shirley Polk. It's a wonderful, wonderful day, and I am so thankful that you're here with me on this Tuesday, the 19th of November in the year 2024. And it is such a wonderful, wonderful privilege to be with you and you have you with me. Dear God, as I sit before you to speak, I pray to you that my soul you will keep. And if I should die before I finish, I pray to you, dear God, in the name of Jesus, that any outstanding sins will be forgiven. Amen. I hope your day is going well. And if it's not going well, I'm praying for and with you because we all know that things happen that make us unhappy for a while and make us happy for a while. We have seem to have more happiness than sadness. Thanks be to God for that. So today we're going to talk about how do we cope in a world that seems to be going backwards. How do we cope in a world that seems to be going backwards? I have three articles here. I'm going to read one from Forbes. I'm going to read one from Psychology Today and another one I had picked up. Now I hope I can get to it. Oh my goodness. Let me see. Hope I can get to it. But anyway, going here in Bing, Microsoft Bing, it tells us to cope with a digressive world, consider the following tips. Number one, accept the change and be curious about it. Number two, prepare your emotions and relax. Number three, stay positive and keep calm. Number four, seek support and challenge your perspective. Number five, practice acceptance, reach out to others, invest in self care, look for meaning and purpose, and stay motivated. That's Microsoft Bing telling us how to deal with this because we are seeing every day, and everyone should watch a tidbit of the news in order to keep up with the weather and to keep up with the urgent current events that are going on. And I'm not saying be consumed by these casts on these televisions and everything because it can cause a person to be disheartened, to be go into depression because there's so much happening, there's so much changing each and every micro milli, pico, femtosecond, every fraction of a second, something is happening. So, how do we adapt well in a rapidly changing world? And that's in Thrive. And I don't know whether this is the one that I had chosen as my third one or not, but I'm going to go back to the Psychology Today. Oh, no, I know what it was. Uh, it was telling us how to deal with what's going on. Oh my goodness, it's so much in here. So much in here. And I'm trying to get back to that. Let me see here. I don't want the. It made a group here, and I don't know what's in this group. I'm going to ungroup it and see what the dealio is here. Personal maintenance, self care, why and how. That might be what I was going to talk about. That, I think that was my third one. Okay, got it. Okay, now we know that seems like things are going backwards. Seems like the scripture in the Bible that I believe in, and that so many other people who are Christ-like and believe in the true and the living God and believe in salvation. We believe that these things have to come about. We know there are going to be great changes in the world and what's going on in this world. So I just want to help us to be able to cope with the changes, because some things we cannot change. And like that AA saying, help me to accept the things that I cannot change. And then also, I don't know it all by memory. I don't know it, but then we should be able to change the things that we can in a way that will benefit all mankind. So the world seems out of control. Here's how to become resilient, to cope, survive, and thrive. And this is Forbes magazine. Thank you so much for being here with me. I really appreciate you for being here. It's a wonderful, wonderful day. And I want to say to everyone who is going through trials and tribulations that please don't give up, don't give in. I believe that it's going to be all right. It has to be, okay? So don't give up, don't give in. Like they say, don't throw in the towel. And like I will continue to say, be encouraged no matter what's going on. He'll make it all right, but you got to stay strong. So God is good to us in spite of everything that is allowed to transpire in our lives. But we are resilient. God made us that way. And I am so thankful because He made us in His own image and likeness. And we are so resilient till it seems like we can't believe the things that we have gone through. And we look back and we say, my God, thank you for bringing me through that. Jack Kelly wrote this piece. The world seems out of control. Here's how to become resilient, to cope, survive, and thrive. And I started talking about how the Bible tells us that the wisdom of the wise will be turned backwards. People will believe a lie before they believe the truth. Evil men will go wax more evil. Men will go from evil to evil, and people don't have. Seems like the things that are happening now, corruption is all around, and corruption seems to be taking over the United States in leadership. But I guarantee that all of this is under control. Criminals being selected to be in charge of this and that and the other and all that, but don't give up. And I can say that because it's a proven fact, because we've seen it. We've seen it and we know who these people are. So the world seems out of control. Here's how to become resilient, to cope, survive, and thrive. Jack Kelly wrote this. Senior uh, contributor Jack Kelly covers career growth. And I'm not going to continue that, but Jack Kelly wrote this, okay? So let's go into this. Still raw from the collective experience of the pandemic, and some people are still they haven't gotten over the pandemic yet because it was so devastating. And then the fact is, according to science and according to reports daily, that the COVID is still here. They have vaccines that are supposed to keep it from being as effective as it was back then when it first came out. They have vaccines, but then those vaccines are still not guaranteed to control every case. So we have things going on here. So are you still raw from the collective experience of pandemic? People are so are now hopelessly watching what may be the start of a third world war. You hear this? And I saw this morning. And this was updated in 2022 on August the 4th. And I just saw this morning online, one of the online influencers is he asked the question, Are we headed for World War III? And just look at this. Look at this. Listen to this. So, are we now helplessly watching what may be the start of the Third World War? While not of this magnitude, inflation is raging, causing everything from food prices to gasoline to rapidly go up in costs. The stock market has been plunging, and people worry that the out of control inflation could disrupt the economy after rebuilding it from the depths of the virus outbreak. So it tells us now with this subtopic your options. The uncertainty looks like it will last for the foreseeable future. You have two options. The first is to let all of the unpleasant overwhelm you. So you have two options. The first option is let all of the unpleasantness overwhelm you. And let's see what your second option is here. I'm going to have to decrease this font again. Okay, two options. Number one, the first is to let all the unpleasant overwhelm you. You'll spend the day doom scrolling through social media, feeling lethargic and depressed over the state of the world and how unfair everything is. That's your first option. An alternative is to find practical, easy to do steps to cope with the harsh reality surrounding us. And this is the harsh reality surrounding us. And I have a book that I wrote some years ago. It asked the question, what's this world coming to? We know to deal with with and conquer the fears, anxiety, and stress, you will need to become resilient. You will need to become resilient. Resilience is a process of adapting and overcoming obstacles in the face of adversity. It involves getting knocked down, but possessing the inner power to get up again and grow from the experience. Now, that's a great definition of resilience. It's not just about wars. You need this skill when you get laid off, are forced to return to an office against your will, feel intense pressure at work or at home, or have to contend with a bad micromanaging bully of a boss. Next, focus on what you can control. Focus on what you can control. It's debilitating when you feel that you can't do anything. Start looking for things that are within your control. It will make you feel better and more empowered. Donate funds. Um, this is a suggestion from this person that wrote this. This is not my suggestion, okay? You do what you want to do, but this is another person's writing, and this person suggested donate to Ukrainian refugees, open your home to take in a displaced family. There's a large number of highly trained professionals in the Ukraine. Find ways to see if your company can reach out to offer remote roles to help them financially get through this disaster. Separately, for your own sanity, find ways in your daily life that you can control, which will help improve your confidence and outlook. Next, Try to look on the positive side. We're talking about we're now it seems that we have no control and that this world is digressing instead of progressing. And we know for a fact, according to the Bible, which is the scriptures, they're written by men who are inspired by God, okay? And it tells us that it's going to get worse. It's not going to get any better. But then there is hope for those who do have hope, okay? There is hope for the hopeful, okay? Try to look on the positive side. Focus on positive emotions rather than ruminating on all of the what if scenarios that will keep you up at night. According to the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, having positive emotions helps increase your ability to effectively deal with issues. To effectively deal with issues. Find healthy coping mechanisms. This could be meditating, doing yoga, going for a run or bike ride, going cultivating a hobby, meeting with friends, working out at the gym, or taking a long walk in a nature setting. Start creating a positive, forward focused mentality that embraces positive possibilities. This is what we're to do because it seems like it, and it is, no seem to it. You see the things that are happening around when the unscrupled are trying to manage scrupled people. Okay, I'll put it like that. Cultivate confidence. You can build back your confidence by focusing on things you're good at. If you enjoy tennis, keep playing. Better by doing that. It will remind you that you can power through tough times. Don't take small We all lost a lot of our social connections during the pandemic. Many people lost social connections and everything during the last few years. Now that that part is over, it's this is a great time to get back in touch with friends, family, and coworkers who you haven't seen in months or over a year or two. Think of all the times you rose to the occasion. Play back in your head highlight reels of your triumphs, even if they are modest. This helps train you to recall that you can deal with tough stuff, get over the hurdles, and keep moving forward. To overcome challenging circumstances, you need to take difficult action. It's okay to take on one step at a time. If you lost your job, start writing a resume. Then update your LinkedIn profile. Reach out to career coaches and recruiters. Tap into your network and ask if they have any leads for you. The next point here in the subtopic, you are not alone. You are not alone. It's important to know that you are not alone. We're all dealing with these frightening events. It won't change what's happening, but at least you can take comfort in the fact that you are not the only one spiritually. Well, exercise, get out of your uh, place of abode, your home, and socialize with people and so this is from Forbes, okay? Now we go to our next one. It seems like this things are just so out of control. And many are, especially when you have corrupt people trying to rule over people who are deep top. God will not put, and that's for the non-believers too. Even if you don't believe in a true and living God, I ask you to believe what I'm saying. We're going to come out of this victoriously. Evil will, and she's 10 ways to cope with big changes. Change is inevitable. Here's how to come out of it a better person. This is Psychology Today, and this was posted on January 19th, 2017. And Gary Drevich is the one that reviewed it. And these are all good. They are good for us. The one constant in life is change. We know that as I'm talking to you, as you're listening to me, it's quicker than I can get a word out. There's some change been made in our lives. The one constant in life is change. That doesn't mean we ever get used to it or fully embrace it, though. It doesn't mean that, okay, that we, okay, and I use this, I'll change my, uh, some of my headings. So now, here are 10 tips. 10 tips coping with big changes in your life and coming out a better person for it. So, because I had technical difficulties today, I am using the motherboard site here. So, I might have to go back and make some corrections in my what's on here. So, let me make sure I have those. Yes, I have that. Okay, now going back to this, here are 10 tips for coping with changes, big changes in your life and coming out a better person. Okay? It's okay to soothe yourself with comfort foods in moderation. One way to track what you are eating is to write it down. You can either do it in a notebook or use an app. When you see what you are eating, it makes you take a step back and think about whether you want to eat that second muffin or not. If you have a history of eating disorders, it's not recommended that you write down what you are eating. Also, notice if you are experiencing an increased use of alcohol or other substances. Your use can sneak up on you when you are under stress. Number 5, exercise. Keeping up regular exercise can be a part of the keep up your regular schedule tip. If exercise is not currently part of your routine, try adding it. Exercising 2 to 3 times a week has been found to significantly decrease symptoms of depression. And this was a study by Barclay in 2014 that find right there about exercising can significantly decrease symptoms of depression. Even just walking around the block can help you feel better. So check with your doctor before starting an exercise program. Remember, you don't have to feel like getting some exercise. Just get out there and move. You'll find that many times your motivation will kick in while you are active. And that's true. That is so true. Number 6, seek support. And if you notice, we always suggest that you seek support. If you can't handle it yourself, if you can't handle it on your own, seek support. Seek support. No one gets through life alone. It is okay to ask for help. That's a sign that you know you're well enough to realize you need some assistance. Think of your trusted friends or family members. Chances are that they are happy to help if you need them to watch your children while you run some errands or if you just need some alone time. There may be a neighbor who has asked you for help in the past. Now maybe you can ask them for help. Apps like Nextdoor have been helpful for connecting neighbors. If you're thinking about hurting yourself or killing yourself, please contact the Suicide Prevention uh, Lifeline online or dial 800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255. And then just please be careful and make sure if you have to call for help, call 911. Please, please, please let them know I am the homeowner. This is what I have on. So when you get here, look for me. This is what I'll have on because you don't want to get killed calling for help for yourself. Somebody just got killed by the police just a few days ago, called for help, and they were the ones that got killed. And the perpetrator is doing just fine, except probably, hopefully, is in jail. But be very careful. There are some things that we have to do. We have to be specific. I am the homeowner. This is what I have on when you get here. And then if you can possibly be in a certain part of the house or maybe wherever you can, let them know where you'll be so you won't get killed. Okay? So I'm not saying that they all do that, but I'm telling you, these are facts. These are facts. Number 7, write down the positives that have come from this change. Maybe due to this change in your life, you have met new people. Maybe you started practicing healthier habits. Maybe you became more politically active. Maybe you became more assertive. Maybe the change helped you prioritize what is most important in your life. Change presents us with the opportunity to grow, and it's important to acknowledge how things have become better as a result. 8, get proactive. Being it means you wait until something has happened and then you take action. Being proactive means you make an appointment with your doctor for a physical help you can make, and you can. If you want to make a positive impact, you can. Having a support group to whom you can vent can be helpful to a point. If you and your prior gearing, what can you do to make things better? When people brainstorm together, if you are comparing your life to your friends' lives on social media, remember that most people post. You may feel like you are not living up to your expectations for yourself. Remember that you are allowed to do less than what is normally possible. Make a point to incorporate more laughter and fun into your life. Laughing increases dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins, and that makes you feel good. And that's from YIM in 2016, a study from YIM in 2016. Thank you for being here with me. I appreciate you. Laughing also increases console, a stress producing, oh, excuse me. Laughing also decreases cortisol, a stress producing hormone. And Yim put that in, studied that in 2016. All right. And so this is 2017 Sarkis Media copyright. And you can go to Stephanie Sarkis, SARKIS.com. Psychology Today. Okay, we're moving on. Now, our next article here is Personal Maintenance, Self-Care, Why and How. And this is by Carrie Tompkins, MA, October 11th, 2022. And these are thoughts for families. She said, I got my had handed to me last week when I mentioned the importance of self care. So we have to think of ourselves and do the self care. We have to. So she said, I got my hat handed to me. Someone who has repeatedly impressed me with their understanding and commitment to children from hard places spoke up and said, basically, when I hear that term, I immediately feel like a failure. Call it maintenance, and it doesn't bother me so much. Another parent is recently back in action after 2 years of recovery from PTSD associated with years of dealing with dysregulated teens and the isolation delivered by the pandemic. So, with these people in mind, and after some soul searching and reading research papers, she said, I offer this. She said, I'm reminded of the AZAFAP mission, working in partnership with welfare professionals and the community. Our purpose is to support, educate, empower, and provide a unified voice for Arizonans, foster and adoptive families with the goal of increasing the well being and stability of Arizona's most vulnerable children. So, in effect, AZAFAP supports you so you can support the children in your care. So, having been involved with foster, kinship, and adoptive families in one way or another for the better part of 45 years, she said, I have to admit that I have become as concerned for your well being as a fellow human as I am about that of the children in your care. She said, I know too much about how hard your days together can be. So it is for that reason that I keep coming back to personal maintenance or the dreaded self care. So she's talking about personal maintenance to people. And we know we have foster care here in Denison. We have CASA here in not Denison, in Dallas, that helps people. In Denison, they have the branches too, I'm sure, with Sherman and Grayson County. I know that. So the consequences of personal neglect are irritability, perceived stress, violating your own standards of behavior, impulsive decision making, physical exhaustion, weakened immune system, disrupted placements due to burnout, physical or mental collapse, compassion fatigue, vicarious trauma, that means indifference to those who are suffering, or even cynicism, blaming them for their own suffering, and difficulty, lack of preparation of experience in the role. G, no break from the trauma of others. H, no one to talk to about this exposure to the trauma of others. What helps? Number one, focus on the big picture, deep reflection, not the day to day minutia. Excuse me. Then, number two, be honest with yourself about how you are feeling. It's not good and it sucks your energy to pretend otherwise. Monitor your A, lack of motivation, B, fatigue, C, irritability, D, distractibility, E, isolation, F, more frequent illnesses. And then number three, take steps to improve your mood, self regulation by A, psychological detachment. That means take a 5 minute break from thinking about the children 5 times a day. B, Retreat to a restorative environment where you can feel safe, one that offers being away, far from the source of your stress. And two, immersion, big enough to lose yourself in it for a while. Three, engagement, keeps your attention, preferably green with a bit of water. A park will do. Okay. Four, compatibility. I like to take in the colors and odors of the forest, so I walk slowly. You may like to jog or run in this environment. So she said, my daughter would zip line. And then number four, thoughts that remind yourself of the decent person you know yourself to be. That's a reflection on what went well today. Number five, thoughts about what you know to be truly important, a, a moment of gratitude. Number six, make sleep a priority. Number seven, stress management strategies. And seven, it has the ABC. That's three deep breaths. B, meditation 10 minutes 3 times a week. And C, share the burden with others who understand and share your commitment. Then we go to number 8, more fresh fruits and vegetables. 9, exercise, just a brisk walk around the block to get your heart rate up may help. And 10 is routines that minimize the number of decisions you have to make on the fly. And then, okay, they have some news here on this site. And this site is, okay, azafap.com. azafap.com. We know that's the Arizona child care system. Okay, now I just wanted to go back and talk a little bit more about this. We know that this world is changing. The things in the world are changing, okay? There's so many hard things coming up. Uh, how to uh, shift your perspective. We need to learn how to do that. We need to learn how to do so many things to be able to deal with this. And we know that we're resilient. We know that. But let's just talk about this perspective here for just a few minutes. Okay, how to shift your perspective, the simplicity habit, how to shift your perspective, 5 ways to see life differently. Learn how to shift your perspective to see your life in a completely new way. In the busyness of life, it's easy to feel like we're stuck in a routine of chasing after external goals and checking off endless to do lists. But have you ever considered that the thing standing in the way of more fulfilling life may not be external? Of a more fulfilling life, it might not be external, but rather how you view your life and circumstances. So our perspective shapes everything we experience. The way we see the world determines how we feel, what we prioritize, and how we respond to challenges. And the good news is that we have the power to change that perspective. Shifting your perspective isn't about changing your circumstances or pretending everything is fine when it's not. It's about seeing things differently. So we want to explore in this post so much and offer practical ways to start shifting yours. Okay. The power of perspective. Before we dive into how to shift your perspective, let's first look at why perspective is important. Imagine two people facing the same challenge, a difficult work project, or a personal struggle. One person sees it as an opportunity to grow, learn, and challenge themselves. The other sees it as a burden, something to endure, or even a sign of personal failure. The difference in their experience is not the challenge itself, but how they perceive it. Perspective is the lens through which we interpret everything that happens in our lives. It dictates how we feel about ourselves, how we react to other people, and how we navigate the ups and downs in and of daily life. When we shift our perspective, we can change our entire experience without needing to change a single external factor. My God, this is good. A shift in perspective can open us up to new possibilities, help us find joy in the little things, and empower us to take more mindful actions. This is so good. Simplicityhabit.com. That's where we are. Whether you're looking for more peace of mind, a deeper connection to yourself or others, or simply a sense of greater control, shifting your perspective can help you get there. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Wayne Dyer said that, okay? Not steps to shift your perspective. 5 steps to shift your perspective. I'm going to do these five steps because I started 10 minutes off of my time after my set time. So we will go an hour. And thank you for being with me and thank you for your patience. Use these 5 steps to shift your perspective and change your life. Step 1, question your current view. The first step in shifting your perspective is to question how you currently view a situation or even life in general. Take a moment to reflect on areas of your life where you feel stuck or frustrated. What's your current mental narrative around these areas? For example, if you feel overwhelmed by your job, you might think, I'm always stressed out because of work. If you're in a strained relationship, your perspective might be, they don't understand me and this is never going to change. These thought patterns, however natural, are not neutral. They shape how we approach challenges, and they often keep us from seeing the full picture. The key to shifting your perspective is to recognize that these thoughts are not absolute truths. They are interpretations based on your current mindset. That is so true. Ask yourself, is this the only way to look at this situation? What other possibilities exist? So, by questioning your perspective, you perfectionism yourself, or you may realize that the relationship isn't about the other person misunderstanding you, but rather about how you communicate and manage expectations. Thank you so much. And there's a false narratives. Perspectives are formed from our experiences as well as the information we consume, and sometimes they're wrong. A teacher, friend, or family member at some point in your life may have said something about you that wasn't true. Unfortunately, those things often stick with us, and it requires examining the messages that informed our beliefs so that we can dismantle them. That is so true. That is so true. Practicing compassion, and we talk about this quite often. Practicing compassion and grace requires intentionally taking a step back and refraining from judgment or criticism of yourself and others. It can be a challenge to do, but it's crucial for adjusting your perspective. It takes asking many questions from many perspectives to truly understand something. John Paul Caponegro said that. Step 2, We have five of these, okay? So we're going to stay within our time limit. Practice gratitude. One of the simplest and most effective ways to shift your perspective is through gratitude. When we're focused on what's going wrong, we tend to overlook what is going right. And that is so true. By intentionally practicing gratitude, we refrain our brains to notice the positives, or we retrain, excuse me, by intentionally practicing gratitude, we retrain our brains to notice the positives in our lives, however small they seem. Start by making a daily gratitude practice a non negotiable part of your routine. Each day, write down at least three things you're grateful for. These don't have to be big things. Sometimes the smallest moments, like a warm up of coffee or a kind word from a friend, are the most meaningful. Not sure where to start? Try using gratitude prompts to help you begin. By practicing gratitude regularly, you begin to shift your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant in your life. This shift in attention can radically change your mindset and help you view even the most challenging situations with a sense of perspective and appreciation. Here's another saying, and this is by Dr. Robert Holden. The miracle of gratitude is that it shifts your perception to such an extent that it changes the world you see. Oh my goodness, that is so good. Number three, step three, step outside your comfort zone. Changing your perspective sometimes requires you to step outside your normal routines and confront the unfamiliar. When we stay in our comfort zone, we tend to see the world through a narrow lens. But the more we expose ourselves to new experiences, ideas, and perspectives, the more expansive our view becomes. This could be as simple as reading books, listening to podcasts, or talking to people that challenge your worldview. It takes humility and openness to see things from another perspective. Or perhaps it's trying something you've never done before, like traveling to a new place, taking up a new hobby, or engaging in conversations with people from different backgrounds. Each new experience gives you fresh insights and helps you see life from different angles. Remember, discomfort is often the breeding ground for growth. The more you push yourself to view the world from diverse perspectives, the more you'll expand your own. And here's a saying by John C. Maxwell. If we're growing, we're always going to be out of our comfort zone. All right. Now, step four, we have one more step after this, okay? Reframe negative thoughts. We all have negative thoughts from time to time. These might include thoughts like, I'll never be good enough. This will never work out. Or in fact, one of the most perspective is learning to reframe those negative thoughts. Reframe means changing the way you interpret a situation. For instance, instead of thinking, I'm terrible at this, try thinking, I'm still learning, and every mistake is an opportunity to grow. So instead of thinking, this is too much to handle, try thinking, this is challenging, but I can handle it step by step. This shift in thinking will give you a growth mindset rather than a defeatist attitude. When you learn to reframe your thoughts, you give yourself permission to see things from a different perspective. You also release yourself from the grip of negativity and you begin to develop a more constructive and compassionate way of thinking. John Lubbock has a saying here. He said, what we see depends mainly on what we look for. Oh my goodness. I like that too. The present moment. Is shaped by what we think might happen in the future or what has already happened in the past. We get caught up in worrying about the future or regretting the past, and we forget to experience life as it is right now. To shift your perspective, practice mindfulness, bringing your awareness fully into the present moment. This can be as simple as focusing on your breath for a few minutes each day, paying attention to the sensations in your body, or noticing the beauty in everyday moments. When you're fully present, you stop getting lost in your thoughts and overthinking about what would have been or what might come next. Mindfulness helps you see things as they are, not through the lens of judgment or expectation, but simply as they are. And in that space, you'll often find a greater sense of peace and clarity. Bernie Siegel said this: embrace each challenge in your life as an opportunity for self transformation. I like that too. Final thoughts on shifting your perspective. This is the key to all of it. Coping in a world that's changing, it's changing, and it seems like it's digressing instead of progressing. And it is, okay? Not the world that God made itself, but the human beings in this world. So many are not doing the right thing. Final thoughts on shifting your perspective. Shifting your perspective doesn't happen overnight, but with consistent practice, it's one of the most powerful tools you can use to transform your life. Remember, it's not to or forcing your remember, it's not about forcing yourself to see things in a certain way or pretending that everything is perfect. It's about allowing yourself the freedom to view life through a different lens, one that others and one that offers you more flexibility, compassion, and understanding. So, I'm going to do this one again. Remember, it's not about forcing yourself to see things in a certain way or pretending that everything's perfect. It's about allowing yourself the freedom to view life through a different lens. So happy that thank God for you. Please enjoy the remainder of your day.